get many viewers. We'll get viewing afterwards, I think.
Okay.
Hi, folks. We're live on Facebook. I've got Elliot in Dubai. Nice to see you, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, very well. Yourself? Happy birthday as
Yeah,
well. Happy
thank you, man.
birthday.
Thank you. Yeah. We just did a podcast yesterday, and I got grilled by Harminder on being 56 and how does it feel to be 56 versus the me when I was 26, 36.
Yeah.
But this interview is about you, really. So tell us where you're at. So for those of you watching, many of you know the whole thing about health has been my passion for years. Elliot contacted me about a week or so ago, looking at going through various aspects of a cleanse, and he's been gathering information on it. But I want to kind of get into his head really quickly on what was going on beforehand, and then what
Yep.
day are you on right now, and how are you feeling? And maybe we can check back in with you tomorrow, and maybe next week to see how you're feeling coming out of it as well. So
Absolutely.
a bit of history first to build it up. So why and what was going through your head before you went into it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been, well, what I thought was health focused.
And just so everyone knows,
Actually,
this comes. You're in Dubai at the moment, correct?
yes. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm
Cool.
over
Nice.
here in
Enjoying the
Dubai,
weather.
spending quite a lot of time here at the moment. And, I've always been focused on trying to stay in shape. I've found that my weight has maybe fluctuated over the years. Obviously, I know you know this row, but going back, a decade ago, I was playing pro football and was always in good shape then. And I just have been in I guess, a bit of a plateau last year or so where the diet hasn't been great. It also hasn't been terrible, but
Right.
it's just flatlined. And I thought, do you know what? I need to do something that's really gonna kickstart that journey of health, and as I'm starting to realize nutrition as well, because fitness and health, I'm really quickly realizing are two different things.
And you're in this
And
public speaking arena now, so
yeah,
the 3 days, 4 days, whatever it is, because it's really,
yeah.
even if you speak for a day, it's more than that. Have you noticed that the physical impact it has on your body at the end of an event? I mean,
Yeah, I'm just feeling tired, and
right,
I've just turned 30, and that is a milestone for me in the fact that the next decade for me is a real decade of growth,
yeah,
and that's kind of been a bit of a psychological thing for me. So I reached out to you because I knew you as an advocate of cleansing. It's something that I'd looked at, but not really known much about.
yeah,
The naivety in me thought that just sounds unhealthy, sounds dangerous, sounds like
right,
something that isn't good for the body. The more I researched it, the more I've realised and understood the potential benefits, and then obviously spoke to you as well, and then just thought, fuck it, I need to do something. Let's do it. So I'm on day 3 of a 5-day cleanse at the moment.
but before we go into that, let's just talk about that for a
Yeah,
minute, because it's interesting how there is this school of, and God knows where it comes from, but if you
yeah,
cleanse, it's bad for you.
yeah,
Where do you think that came from? Is it just, I mean, you're in that younger age group, so is it like
yeah.
peers? Where have you heard it? Um, is it
You know,
just the world, the peer, that world you've been in, or
yeah.
is it something that
I think it is the world. My background was sport, and now I go to the gym quite a lot, and that's always been focused on getting enough calories in and getting
right?
the protein in, and
Yeah, yeah,
more
yeah.
when I was playing football, having the carbohydrates to have the energy. And I just felt that removing all of those things was going to have a negative impact on the body because that's all
Yeah,
I've been taught. Get those calories in, get the carbs in, get the protein in.
yeah.
So yeah, to strip that away was a concern for me. But it was, again, like I said, it was just naivety, not really understanding the benefits of it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny because when we are sick, we
Yeah,
naturally actually stop eating. You kind of, your
yeah,
body wants to clear shit out.
it
Let it,
does.
burn the sickness or cleanse the sickness out. That's where the
Yeah,
diarrhea and everything comes in or whatever we get. And then
yeah,
we slowly start, the body goes, right now I'm ready to start eating again. So we actually
yeah.
naturally do that anyway.
Do you know what's frightening though? Like even when I've been sick, I would say there has never been a whole day where I haven't eaten food in my
Right.
life as far back
Yeah,
as I
yeah.
can remember.
And you mentioned there about, I mean, you're a tall guy, and when I first met you, I remember
Yeah,
you're physically built, you look after
yeah,
yourself gym wise, but being physically muscular built versus health is two different things. And you
yeah,
see a lot of guys in the gym, don't you, who are
yeah, yeah.
big, but actually, they're not really that healthy.
There's a people talk about fitness and health, and actually they are two different things. And what I've been thinking about on these last couple of days going through this process is a lot of people are focused on fitness first, but fitness doesn't always lead to health. But
Which is an
actually, if you
aesthetic thing,
focus,
isn't it? It's
yeah,
aesthetics.
absolutely. But if you focus on the health, the fitness is a byproduct of that anyway.
Right.
So, I haven't weighed myself. I'm going to wait until kind of the end of the 5 days to weigh myself, but I can see
Yeah.
already that I've dropped weight, the bloatedness has gone. So I was focusing on the health, but the fitness is a byproduct of that, because now I've
Okay,
got
so
more
let's
energy.
talk about that, because I think anyone watching this, there's going to be people going, fuck, I so relate to this. What would you say, and be as candid as you can,
Yeah,
what were the things that have driven you to this point? So let's talk about eating. You
yeah,
talk about bloated. I'm interested to know what that is for
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Alcohol, anything to
yeah,
do with habits associated with, like, under stress. You run several businesses. You've got a property
yeah,
business. You're a speaker. What's brought you to the point where, like, fuck, I need to cleanse? What would you say are the bad habits in your mind? And this isn't
yeah.
about criticizing. It's about being observational,
No,
self-reflective. What do you feel some of those habits?
I mean, for me, food and drink has always been an outlet for stress.
Okay.
And whether that's in business, in personal life, whatever it is, my outlet has been eating, has been drinking, and it's got to a stage where, like, I always know that if I'm around from a weight perspective, around the 90 kilo mark, I'm in good shape.
Right.
And it over the years it's fluctuated above and below that, and now it's sat above that for too long.
Right.
And I just felt that I had to do something what I considered as drastic. Now, 2 days in, I don't see it as drastic as I maybe had in my mind. But for me, the point of doing this was to kind of show that I could, get my head down and make it happen.
And have
Um,
control over it. A
exactly.
conscious. It's a conscious decision, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I
And
still
I felt,
remember. I still remember shifting away from meat, and this isn't about
yeah,
professing about that to everybody. I'm not trying to do that, but when I did that, I remember sitting in restaurants with people, and they were deliberately eating like huge amounts of meat and looking at me and trying to wind me up, and you have to consciously change. Like, even you doing
yeah,
this, anytime you could just pick up food, but you're consciously
yeah,
juicing at the moment.
yeah.
How does that feel, as in terms of your strength, your inner strength, your power? Is it making a shift in your mindset at the moment?
Yeah, 100%. I'm already thinking about,
Right.
when I was going into this process, I was thinking about the 5 days, how can I get through that?
Yeah.
Now, getting through that 5 days is a given. It's now, okay, what am I going to do when I come out of that 5 days? What am I
Love
going to
that. Love
start in?
that. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been really good for inner strength. And it just made me realize I'm someone that probably eats 2,500 calories a day.
Right.
And, my juicing on the first day was 450 calories. And I wasn't, but I weren't hungry.
Right. So we had the conversation
Yeah,
yesterday about
yeah,
fuel and nutrition.
nutrition.
So it's
Yeah,
like, when you have fuel, you can eat stuff, and it gives you the fuel to keep your energy going, but it's not
yeah,
necessarily nutritional. I mean, you could eat a whole day's worth of pasta, which has got no nutrition, but it actually, you
yeah,
got the carbs in there, and it can kind of keep
yeah.
you fueled.
That's
Whereas your
it.
body's now getting nutrition.
Yeah,
And for the moment, anyway, it's not yearning necessarily the need to eat, I guess, because your body's
yeah,
going, great, give me all this great nutrition right now.
yeah.
And
That's it.
so,
No, that's
what
it.
else was going on, El? I mean, drinking, was it a
Yeah.
habitual thing? Was it a social thing? When did you feel? Because again, this
It
isn't
was.
judgment. I want
Yeah,
anybody. I have to be careful because we're on social media. This isn't about
mm,
making a judgment. It's about an internal decision by a human being here, Elliot, going,
yeah,
this doesn't feel right for me right now. When did you?
yeah.
When did that shift happen?
I would say that's probably happened over the last 6 months. I wouldn't say something that's happened straight away and I've
Right.
gone, right, let's make a decision. I probably let it build up, probably further than it should have gone. I mean, drinking more socially,
Yeah.
not
Yeah. Yeah.
habitually, and actually being spending more time in the Middle East,
Right.
it's a lot less easy to go. I'm going to go get a few, some beers
Yeah.
from the
Yeah. Yeah.
shop. You go out, but it got to a stage where, like I said, food and drink was a way out for me, like escapism, as opposed to
Right.
I fancy doing this. It wasn't
Yeah.
social to be social and enjoy it. It was because I'm stressed out with everyday life that I need to go away and eat
Yeah.
something or drink something. And that's when it becomes unhealthy, because you're not doing it for the enjoyment, you're doing it to escape
Right.
reality, which was probably a bit of a wake-up call for me, that's, having a wife and a child and people that rely and depend on me.
Yeah, and you're
Can't have
running
that
businesses
outlet.
whilst you're overseas. There's a lot of other
Yeah.
factors that come into play here. So the shift towards juicing now, let's talk about that for a
Yeah.
minute. So for you, it's like almost like a hard stop reset.
Yes.
Is that what was
Yeah.
going on in the head?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was going to be, let's prove to yourself that you can do something, and really, like, I'd prepared myself. I'd put down loads of notes, why I was doing this, so that if I was really struggling during this period, just something to go back and remind myself. That hasn't actually been the case. Like I was saying to you, I feel really good, to be honest. And
So
I was
you're on,
expecting
so you're on
struggle.
day 3, is it right?
Day 3.
Day
Yeah, yeah.
3,
So
and
I've just gone
let
past
everybody
the
know what you're
halfway mark.
consuming. What you're actually consuming for the 3
Yeah,
days so far.
so it's 6 juices a day,
Right.
which again is actually something that I really like now. So I'm taking one
Staging.
juice every 2 hours,
Yeah.
which isn't the way I eat. And actually, I think moving forward, I will, bring the portions down and eat more
The
regularly.
concept
I'm
of
finding
grazing. Yeah.
yeah. So it's juices, which is a mix of fruit juice, greens,
Yeah.
mainly leafy greens, some
Yeah.
citrus in there, ginger in some of them as well.
Good. Yeah.
I did go pre-made. I mean, like as we said, I'm busy, and I do feel that it just avoided the risk of me waking up one day and not
And not feeling. Yeah.
preparing
I mean,
that.
I did a public one we did on social media about 10 years ago, and we
Yeah,
filmed ourselves juicing, but it's quite an intense process. 2 of us did it
yeah,
together. I
yeah,
like the way you've done it, actually. And there are
yeah,
companies now that can provide that, where it just
yeah.
arrives, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I just got a good feeling from them, because the website, it's all organic produce.
Great.
In those 6 juices, there's probably 15 to 20 different fruit and veg over the course of the day, so
Yeah.
it's a real mix as well.
Yeah, because
I
some
think
people
that
go
probably
down
does
the
help.
fruit route, and we talked
Yeah,
about this as well, didn't we? Like
yeah,
lots of apples and stuff like that. But the concern is that you're now concentrate. You'd never consume that much sugar in one hit
yes,
naturally anyway. You'd eat an
yeah,
apple and your body would go, great, I've got enough. So the downside to
yeah,
juicing just very sweet things is you're getting almost an overload. So the fact you've got a
yeah,
mix is brilliant, I think.
yeah. No, absolutely. You've got things like beetroot and stuff as well. They
Yeah,
tend to be
fantastic.
slightly higher
Oh
calorie
my God, massive
sweets and stuff.
antioxidants as well. So have
Yeah.
you had headaches? I'm interested to know if you've had headaches.
So it's funny where we talk about having the juices once every couple of hours. I sip that juice for about 30 minutes. So sip it for 30 minutes, and then I've got an hour and a half until the next juice. I would
Any
probably
water in
say,
between? Any water you
yeah,
doing?
I'm drinking about 3 liters of water a day on top
Good.
of the juices.
Because that
Um,
has a big play out with flushing.
yes,
And for anyone listening, Elliot was out walking this morning. The lymphatic system is not a pump system, so you have to move, whereas the heart's a
yeah,
pump system. So if Elliot just juiced and did no movement, the lymph system can't detoxify. So having the water, the
yeah,
juice, and movement will act like, I don't know if you're cleansing, you're pooing, or if it's getting more liquid or whatever. I mean, whatever you want to share. But I know I went through
yeah.
that. Um,
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm pissing all the time, if I'm honest. A lot.
And is it
And yeah,
fairly
drinking about,
clear? Because people that don't drink a
yes.
lot, it's very dark.
Yeah, so first one of the morning isn't completely clear.
Right.
The
Yeah.
rest is it's just like water,
Good.
basically.
Good. Yeah.
It's so yeah, plenty of water in between. So with regards to the headaches, probably about 20 minutes before my next juice, I'm just starting to
Yeah.
feel a little bit,
Yeah.
but nothing that can't be handled.
You're looking pretty good on day 3. Normally, day 3, the end of day 3 is where it hit me. It's
I
been
know
nearly
it's
20
coming at
years.
some
Actually, it's
point,
20
isn't it?
years
It's
since
coming.
Is it 20 years since I did my first proper official cleanse?
Yeah.
And day 3, 4, really, clearing out caffeine and stuff like that out of the system.
Yeah. Well, I know, and there was a decision, there was a 3-day option or a 5-day option, and it just come back to that. I wanted that hard stop, and I thought,
Yeah.
fuck it, do 5 days. It's not going to be easy, and I do think the tough parts are probably still to come.
To come, yeah.
But I feel better than when I was eating.
And so physically, how do you feel? Mentally, how are you feeling? And brain as well. That's one I could talk about, brain fog. Where are you at with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say I'm waking up more refreshed.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm guessing that's probably down to a deeper sleep.
Yeah,
So I'm waking up feeling better. You know, like you said, I sent a video to you this morning, went for a walk, and that was because I wanted to do it. And
yeah,
actually, normally I force myself to the gym, and the energy, the kind of natural energy isn't there. It's, oh, I should do this because that's the
yeah.
right thing to do. So definitely more energy.
Yeah, can I make a
It's,
tip? And maybe we
yeah,
get some feedback on you on video next week. We'll get it live again.
yeah,
Try the same walk and take off your shoes and socks and see if you can just walk for like 20 minutes barefoot or even 5 minutes
yeah.
barefoot because of the whole concept of grounding and it's like
Do you
literally.
know what? It crossed my mind this morning to do that because actually the path that I walk on is slightly padded as well.
Right.
So
If there's
I just
grass, I saw
thought,
grass in your video. If you can get,
yeah, there's grass there as well.
because
Yeah,
there's actually genuinely the body will take any positive ions and it's like plugging into an earth plug. It draws it all out your body, which
yeah.
that coupled with the juice. I mean, I've done this so many times over the years and it really helps. It's amazing.
Okay, all
Be
right, we'll
interesting
do
to see
that.
what, and if you do it and video it and maybe just record it for us, we can play it live because I can
Yeah,
pull a
awesome.
video of yours on while we're online and do
Yeah.
that next time round. Okay, so you've
Well, I
waken
mean,
up.
honestly, right, I mean, you probably don't know what my diet was like before, and like, anyone that does know it and does watch this, you just think, right, no fucking way, no way. It's just, yeah, it's one that I probably never would have considered doing, but just felt that something had to
I'll
give.
pre-warn you now. You may get quite emotional towards the end of this, and I mean
Yeah,
literally, like
yeah,
especially if you start. I found I got very reflective, and the cleansing
yeah,
process also starts to release stuff from the liver, and with that,
yeah,
sometimes there's an emotional release. So I'd be interested to
yeah.
see. You should journal actually. It's
Okay,
great for people to see that journey. Maybe we can catch it a few times, but if it happens,
sure.
just let it go because part of letting go is literally letting go of shit as well.
Yeah,
So head's clear in the morning. How are you feeling
yeah.
physically? Are you feeling lighter? Are you feeling like heavier? What's going on?
Yeah, I have been feeling lighter. I've been wanting to go to the gym. I've actually made a conscious decision for these 5 days not to
Not too
go
right. Okay.
to the gym, just like the walk in and,
Yeah.
just keeping active, but not real physical exertion. But I've been wanting to go.
Is there a
Whereas,
rebounder at any of your gyms? So when I went for my first cleanse, every day
yeah,
we rebounded in the morning because that's when the body tends to detox,
yeah,
even for 10, 15 minutes. I'd be interested to
okay.
see if you got access to one.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
can
have
get
one here in
access
the
to it,
office.
actually. Yeah,
I think because it really, the lymph system needs to be stimulated. And if you've been fairly static or whatever for a
yeah,
few weeks, or whatever, that'd be interesting feedback. Actually, see if
okay,
that makes a difference and if you find yourself really letting go of stuff.
okay.
Um, I
I'll
mean,
give that a go.
fortunately, you're actually relatively healthy, but people that are overweight and unhealthy, then they have a really big reaction to it. But whilst it's your
Yeah.
first one, we might as well chuck a load of stuff at it and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Test it, and I think it's not a one-time thing, is it? This is it's working out when is the right time to do it. How big a gap should there be?
Yeah,
How often should you do it? These
yeah,
are the
yeah.
questions that I don't really know the answers to yet, but I want to work on.
I guess the last question is head. How's it feeling? So there's a thing called sleep lag, or you get like a food overhang.
Yeah.
And I used to refer to food overhang when you eat shitty food at night. You wake up in the morning feeling groggy, heavy, and your brain through the
Yes.
day is quite fuzzy. So that's where
Yeah.
a lot of processed food, alcohol, caffeine, sugar, it's in the head, it's in the brain, and there's this like I don't feel fully productive.
Yeah.
What's happening at the moment? Because you're right in that transition from one extreme to the
Yeah.
other. Well, how's the head?
Yeah. Head's good. I was worried. One of the fears for me was that lack of caffeine, because literally the first thing I do when I wake up is have a coffee,
Right.
and that is what kickstarts me and
Yeah.
starts the day. So without that, there was the fear, well, how on earth do I get the day started?
Yes. Yeah.
But because I'm waking up fresher, I'm not needing that fix to get me up and running and
Yeah.
get me going. So head's good. Been a productive couple of days. We've got, from a business perspective, there's a lot going on at the moment, and I feel that, if what was happening in the last couple of days had happened 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have been as productive. There would have been a bit
Interesting.
of a kind of, not burying head in the sand, but do I really want to take this on and
Yeah.
tackle
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
But it's drastic changes. It really is. I'm shocked about how quickly it's had an impact in 2.5 days. It's extraordinary.
Brilliant. Well, what I'll try and do tomorrow, I'm on an event, but I might see if I can jump on with you either at the end of the day
Yeah,
or in the middle of the day. And maybe we catch that in day 5. And then
sure.
next week, let's follow it through because it'd be great to have a catalogue of the experience as well. Because a lot of people out there are scared to do this. So
Yeah,
tackling, and maybe we can come back and revisit what were your fears before? And then how do you
yeah,
feel now having gone through it? And what would you say to people that are considering it?
yeah, 100%. Be more than
Brilliant.
happy to do that.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, man. Enjoy the rest of
Brilliant.
your
No,
day.
no problem.
All right.
Yeah.
Cheers, Elliot. Take care, man.
Bro.
Bye.
Cheers.